All right, this is a meeting of the CRC, December 4th, 5 o'clock. We have a quorum, calling attendant Mike Paparian.
Here.
Bill Murphy.
Present.
Wanda Willingham.
Present.
And Gary Demal is here. We have a quorum. Motion to approve previous minutes.
I'll move it.
Mike,
Second.
Bill, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. We have a BST proposal.
Yep.
For auditing.
So due to us, not having an auditor for next year, I put out got a couple of bids, one from BST, one from Bonadio. I did reach out to UHY, they declined to give us a number. So, based on the experience of BST and the quote, it's my suggestion that we go ahead with BST for the 2024 audit.
Okay, thank you. Just for the information, we at the county use BST, so we just appointed them.
Right, the IDA also appointed BST, so
So-
it seems to make sense.
Everything's good. So a motion to approve BST. Motion, Wanda, second.
I'll second it.
Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? Thank you. CFO report.
I have nothing.
Okay. CEO report.
I have nothing to report, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Other business, we have the sale and purchase agreement of 106 South Pearl Street. Joe?
Yes, Chair, you and I have gone over, the resolution, it's in front of you. Kevin, I don't know if you want to go into some detail about it. I can give a 50,000-foot description if you want. This is a wrap-up of the South End grocery store project. You'll recall that there were three lending institutions. We were one of the three. There was a foreclosure action. There's a winding up of this, and the bottom line is that we're participating voluntarily in the release of our mortgage and the conveyance of the property to Alliance or Alliance-controlled entities. We're not getting anything back on our promissory note. The amount of our original loan was $250, it's $230 now in terms of payments. But as a condition to moving forward with and cooperating with the foreclosure, if there's a resale of the project to an entity other than Albany County or a not-for-profit that's not controlled by a for-profit, we will be paid up to our promissory note amount plus interest and penalties from the sale proceeds with in connection with that subsequent conveyance of the property. So we're taking some action to protect the assets of the CRC, and with that, I'll open up for any comments or questions.
Thank you. Was that original 200?
200.
Was it 200? Okay, so the 230.
It's down to about
so the-
198
so-
now.
Okay, so the 230 is with interest and penalties. Yeah, okay. Yep.
That's,
My
that's excellent.
So we'll just say that the documents will reflect the 200.
Yeah, I'll amend that. Would affect that. Yeah, I think that was a good move with everybody involved with, if there's a sale other than the county or not-for-profit, that the money's come back to the CRC so we can further reinvest that through the CRC. I mean, eventually get wind up back at the Alliance again, but we're the CRC can be a little more flexible with the way to spend it. That's all. I'm looking at trying to see if we can just spend the money differently. That's all. So, are there any questions on these documents in front of you?
Just have a couple questions.
Go ahead.
Our loan was a third position loan. We were not equal position with the other lenders.
We were number 3.
Okay. So, and I know at the year-end audit that we had last year, we were carrying the note on our balance sheet. There was no reserve against the note. There was a notion that we were going to recover from American Rescue Act, or there was something that we were going to get this money back. Is that totally fallen apart, that we're not going to be able to recover that funds, and this is essentially a write-off at this point?
Yeah.
Right, so I'll write that off for 2024, get that off the balance sheet.
And the letter that accompanied the package that I got this morning, it was undated, but it was from I guess, Kevin in his role with the Alliance to Gary, kind of spelling out where, that seemed to indicate to me, maybe I missed it, that the entire residual, if there was a sale, if the Alliance ultimately disposed of the asset, and there was a residual, the entire residual that was above and beyond whatever the Alliance's costs would come back to the CRC, but probably highly unlikely that that's going to happen, but that differs slightly from what you just described, Joe.
I saw that also, and what I was going to do was review that with Kevin to make sure I had that right. I thought the best we were going to get was a reimbursement, and now the total.
Yeah, I'm only looking for a reimbursement. Anything other than that, if you can sell it for $1 million and get an extra 800,000, it can go back to the Alliance, then, because that'll be good for us, because then when we do a contract next year, we can take our 177.
I realize it's kind of what they're like in that regard, but it was a difference from.
I did notice that also, but I'll make sure that it's consistent, that it's reimbursement.
Anything else?
Thank you. No, that's it.
Wanda, do you have anything?
I just want to know, tell me the amount again.
The original amount, as corrected by the chair, was $200,000, the loan.
Mhm. And there was nothing paid down on it?
Minimal,
A couple $1,000.
yeah, but the late fees and interest just brought it back up to where it was, where it started.
Very little payments were made.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, there was a guarantor for the loan, but the guarantor is bust. Is that essentially what we're talking about here too?
Yeah.
Blue Light Development.
Yeah.
Well, I think the
Community Center. African American
ACCC
Culture.
was the guarantor, but they're done. They're bust.
I don't know if there was any assets or anything, that the legal vehicles, I think, were led by the two lenders, correct? And, they, sort of, we gave them proxy to sort of act on our behalf, and there must not have been any assets in the cultural center to attach, is
No, there was nothing.
my guess.
Nothing value.
Quite the contrary. The several of the remaining board members, which I believe there were only two, Linda Jackson Chalmers and Larry Molden, actually paid for the insurance for the building out of their own pocket, because the cultural center had no resources left. And as you may know, the cultural center is, through some process that we're not involved in, is merging or being absorbed by a new 501c3, which is the Alice Moore Culture and Arts organization, which is named after the recently departed or deceased Alice Green, and Mr. Tui, Alice's husband, has been very helpful in this. He paid the outstanding property taxes that were accrued by the cultural center, because their director never filed for tax exemption, to the tune of, I think, $130,000.
If it'll exceed that, it'll be over probably between 130 and 140.
And we, the Alliance, have taken responsibility of dealing with the mechanics liens on the properties, which there are two totaling $24,000 or $5,000. EW,
And Melcar Electric.
what was
EW Tompkins.
EW Tompkins and Melcar Electric. So, just to round it out, the Albany County Legislature appropriated money for us to do this, and once we own this property, we will engage in a kind of a community conversation to see what the best and highest use for the site is, and meeting the needs of that neighborhood, and then try to move accordingly towards a resolution of that.
Has anybody expressed any
Yes, the gentleman who bought Lombardo's, I don't recall the name of the
Business for good,
That's the
Ed Vinson, but he's got a foundation or a.
business for good.
food for good.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, business for good or something like that.
yeah, but I'm not, it was just, he just said, hey, by the way, if you ever want to, so we'll certainly re-engage him as we go around and do this.
Any other questions? Motion to approve the,
Yeah, I'll move that, I'll move the resolution.
second,
Second.
Wanda, all in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Unanimous? Then we got the resolution, all one, Joe? The
Yeah, it's all,
resolution,
that was all
one.
together, yes.
We're good.
And then
Okay, so are there any other questions? Anybody have anything? Good job.
just, we want to, we had talked about assistant secretary.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
Wanda, Assistant Secretary, James, was doing that. We wanted to sign some things tonight, and so I'll make a motion to do that.
Sure, I'll move that.
Second. Bill, all in favor?
All right.
Opposed? So, thank you, Wanda. All right, motion adjourned.
And thank you, folks, for coming out on such short notice and,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I know this is not the time